And now it's time to sip the coffee and spill the tea on Talking with 3D Live. Here's your host, Derrick Dixon.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Derrick Dixon of Talking with 3D Live, where we always sip the coffee and spill the tea. Listen, before we get started, I want you to do me a big favor. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button, click it, love it, share it, do all those things. And do me a favor, leave a comment. If you want to be a guest of Talking with 3D Live, all you have to do is email us, talkingwith3d@gmail.com. That's talkingwith3d@gmail.com. So please make sure that you do hit us up. But today, I have an exciting guest. Cornelius Wyatt Jr. is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. So I really am just excited to interview him, to have him here with me today. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. But first off, Cornelius.
Hey.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, Derrick. Thank you for having me on Talking with 3D Live.
Yes.
I've been watching the show. Love it.
Thank you.
So it's an honor to be here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Tell everybody again how you love it.
It's a fascinating show.
Yes.
Fascinating. So if you haven't seen it, you need to get on board.
Yeah.
Talking with 3D Live.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we're here all about you today. And I'm very excited to have you here.
Yeah.
You know, we had talked a little bit before the show and everything, and you were like, I'm a little nervous and stuff, and I haven't done, interviews and things. And it's an honor that you chose, Talking with 3D Live, chose to be here and sitting with me today. So thank you very much. That
Absolutely.
really, is an humbling experience because of the fact that you could have chose anybody and you chose to be right here.
Absolutely. I've watched some of my peers that I, came up with in the acting business. I've seen them on Talking with 3D Live. And I said, you know what? I think I'm ready.
Yeah.
And if anyone's going to interview me, I want it to be Derrick.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
I appreciate that. I really do, because it means a lot. And because this is my passion.
Yeah, I know.
This is something that I love to do. And I want people to come and, be comfortable and know that, I hate to say a safe place, but a place where we can have genuine conversation.
Absolutely.
And introduce you to my fans, introduce you to, people out in the world, because of the fact that this is what Talking with 3D Live is all about.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Again. I'm going to tell everybody a little bit about you.
Okay.
You are a New York native. You currently reside in Washington, D.C. You're an actor, writer, film producer. You're a content creator. Your passion for entertainment started at a young age.
Right.
You also have worked with the legendary composer Leonard Bernstein.
Leonard Bernstein.
Leonard Bernstein.
Yeah.
And you've also worked in radio, broadcasting, and the world famous Apollo Theater.
Apollo Theater, yeah.
I mean, come on. To work at the Apollo Theater, first off, that's huge.
Right, yeah.
That's huge.
Right.
Let's talk about that. What is it like to work at the Apollo Theater? Because you hear so many stories of a lot of, especially comedians, that go through the Apollo and where they got their start. I heard a story with Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
How he got his start right at the Apollo Theater. But so many of our actors and comedians, singers, start at the Apollo. So what was that experience like? So
it's funny that you mentioned Steve Harvey, because the same gentleman that gave Steve Harvey the opportunity was the same gentleman, Mr. Chuck Sutton, was the gentleman that gave me an opportunity to work there.
Okay.
So I started out as an intern. I was working for Inner City Broadcasting, which owned WBLS Radio and at the time the Apollo Theater. And for about 3 months, I was doing an internship going from radio to the Apollo Theater. And I was meeting so many legends in broadcasting. And when that internship was over with, I was able to get a full-time job working in radio on the administrative side, but they could never find me doing the administrative tasks because I was always down in the studio just trying to learn the ins and outs about production.
Wow.
And so working at the Apollo Theater, it was just incredible. You know, I was a production assistant.
Okay.
And I was doing some of everything at the Apollo Theater and meeting some great legends that worked there as well. But I was doing audio engineering. I was working behind the scenes. I was involved with Showtime at the Apollo, working with some great folks. So yeah, and this was probably in the early 90s.
Okay.
Yeah. Ooh, I'm dating myself, but yeah.
So where's the lady that always sat in the front?
Eva.
Eva.
Yeah.
You know, was she like a permanent fixture of the Showtime at the Apollo?
She was a permanent fixture for Showtime at the Apollo. I forget the history on how she came about to sit there, but she was incredible to see all the time. I can tell you a fascinating story behind the scenes. You know, when I would get my lunch, you know, for some strange reason, you know, I would be with some of the fellas and I couldn't find a table. So my table for my lunch, I would put it on this log. And it was the log that everybody was rubbing, you know? And so that would be backstage. And I would say to myself, my God, thousands and thousands of people have touched this log. Not that I had a sandwich or something literally on the log, but yeah, so I would just, you know, look at that log and just sit back and wonder how many hands have touched that log. And even just stepping on the stage at the Apollo when no one is in the audience and looking out there and just wondering, what would it be like to one day, you know, grace this stage? Because before acting, I was always trying to become a singer. I can't sing a lick.
Are you
I was
serious?
into songwriting and rapping.
And it's so funny you say that because I was going to ask you too if you do sing.
No, I don't sing. But I would form these groups in New York. And, you know, and at the time I was working at the radio station and at the Apollo Theater. And, but I couldn't sing. I would write songs and I would have this dream of one day making it on the Apollo Theater or doing something within entertainment that might involve singing.
Wow. Today's episode of Talking with 3D Live is brought to you by IRoseFilms. IRoseFilms photo booth will capture every special event, from birthday parties, weddings, baby showers. They also specialize in 360 booths, also videography. So please make sure that anytime that you have a special event, contact IRoseFilms, IRoseFilms.com. So your entertainment started at a young age.
At a young age.
What was the inspiration? What was the passion that you found that said, I want to do this?
Wow. Probably working in I used to share this with Leonard Bernstein. You know, I would always go to the Dakota where he lived. And the Dakota is the building in New York where John Lennon was assassinated. And that's where Leonard Bernstein and a lot of other celebrities lived. And so I would go up there and I would share my dreams with Leonard Bernstein about wanting to become an actor. You know, I wasn't chasing the dream, but I had the fantasy in my head. Working in radio, I would always be around all the right people. I did a lot of administrative tasks, and that included mailroom messenger type work, but it was a blessing to do that type of work because they would send me to places like Bill Cosby House. They would send me to Don King's work. They would send me to Dr. Betty Shabazz's office. I believe she taught in Brooklyn, New York. But I would share my dreams while I was waiting to get paperwork signed with these individuals. And I had the passion in my head, but just hearing their advice just made me want to do it more. And actually, when I moved out to the DMV area, some of my friends were doing theater. And I wanted to get into theater. And once I was able to step into theater, then the passion grew of me wanting to do more, not just theater, but film. Yeah.
So you have so much history in your background. You've sat and talked to some legends. Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby.
Who has the chance to step into Bill Cosby's home?
Yes.
And have a conversation. What was that like? What was just to get that knowledge. And I love me some Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
You know, even though all of the aftermath of what happened, Bill Cosby was just a legend in Black history, in Black theater, in Black television.
Right.
You know, Bill Cosby was that person. What was that like for you to just be in that presence?
Oh man, it was incredible. He just a pure gentleman. I remember just asking him, because I told my mother one day that I was going to his house. She said, see if you can get an autograph. And when I was in his presence, I said, excuse me, Mr. Cosby, because he would always smoke these cigars. I said, do you mind if I could have your cigar? Could you just autograph it for me? And he said, what? And he said, you asking me for my cigar is like me asking you for one of your socks.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was just like dead silence after that. Needless to say, he did autograph an invitation for me that I still have to this day. But it was incredible. He gave me a lot of advice. He told me to stick to what it was that I wanted to do. At that particular time, I was like, well, can you put me on a Cosby show? I was saying in my head on one of your productions.
I could be one of the kids.
Exactly. But it was incredible. He gave me great advice.
Yeah.
So
you've also, you've been in film and acting. You've been in The Christmas Room.
The Christmas Room, yes. So I worked with, oh my God, I'm going blank right here and she's going to get me. But I worked with Mignon Pinson and Maya Pinson for The Christmas Room. And
Mignon Pinson, she's a young writer and director.
Young writer and director. And, and her daughter, Maya Pinson. Maya Pinson is a young writer and director.
Yes.
And so this was my first time ever having a speaking role on film.
Okay.
So I'm thankful for the opportunity to be able to play the professor in The Christmas Room. And I know that was a production that you were also involved in as well.
We always say that we're going to work together.
Absolutely.
And we actually did work together. We just didn't do any scenes together.
That's right.
So we were finally in the same movie together.
Right.
Yeah, so The Christmas Room. So it was, I played a therapist.
Okay.
In The Christmas Room.
Okay. So I was a professor. And I didn't know that you were in the film until I was at the premiere. And I was like, oh my God, there's Derrick. And I was literally trying to videotape different people. And I think I texted you.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because I wasn't able to make it to the premiere for other obligations that I had that day, but I did finally get to see it. So I was excited to see that. So HBO, We Own the City.
We Own the City. So I did some background work. I was doing a lot of background work, and We Own the City, I was able to play a tactical police officer.
Okay.
So that was just fascinating because it was the first time I've ever worked with a major studio production and worked with so many great actors from the DMV area that were doing either background work or had the opportunity, to have supporting roles. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Explain to our audience, because a lot of people that want to get into acting, speaking roles background. And because a lot of, people think, oh, that's self-explanatory, but they don't understand that even being a background actor,
absolutely,
it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
Can be an all-day process.
Absolutely.
Explain a little bit about what background working is. A background actor is about?
Well, background work is a great way to get your foot in the door and network with a lot of different producers, actors, cinematographers. There's a lot of opportunities online for the public to take advantage of background opportunities. And but like you said, it's a lot of hours.
Yeah.
You might be on set for about 9 to 12 hours, maybe longer than that. But it's just it's a great opportunity.
Okay. So then you have the soon-to-be-released To Hear Her Productions.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about this production.
Yeah, To Hear Her Productions. This is a production company started by Tahira Robinson. To Hear Her Productions, yes. So Tahira Robinson is a fabulous producer. And she started what's called, her current production is called Accidental Encounters.
Okay.
And so I play the role of Chase.
Okay.
And so it's an interesting film. It's a romantic comedy. It comes out February 16th.
Okay.
We're doing the premiere at the Greenbelt Cinema Theater.
Okay.
And it's exciting. So it's a romantic comedy.
Yeah.
I play this delivery guy, and Tahira Robinson, she plays She's this hardworking individual. I'm this hardworking individual, and we seem to both have similar things in common. We're both looking for love. And this is a film. It kind of reminds you a little bit of Love Jones. It's a short film, but both of us are looking for love, and we both tend to find it at the strangest time in the strangest places.
Okay.
So there are some great actors that are involved in this, based from Delaware to here in the DMV to Virginia. So this is just fascinating, and I hope that everyone can come out there February 16th, Valentine's Day weekend.
I know that's right. Listen, so being an actor now, and then you look back at all this time of, the Apollo and meeting certain different actors and composers and everything. How do you feel like that has, preempt you, that's giving you what you need in order to succeed as an actor?
Right. Wow. When I was trying to get into the business, I had it in my head, but I just didn't have the know-how. And I was somewhat shy, and I wasn't assertive. Now I know what I want. And it's a lot easier. Okay. It's a lot easier for me, not only because I know what I want, but I've been through all the BS.
Right.
And I know that there are opportunities out there. Right. A lot of times folks will always ask me, what are your goals? What are you looking to get out of this?
Right.
And my goals and my passion has always been to be involved with projects that I can maybe turn other people on to opportunities.
Okay.
So for me, it was never that longevity of trying to become this great actor or trying to do this longevity. I always wanted to be able to be in a position where I could help others and turn them on to opportunities.
And you do that a lot.
Yeah.
You do that quite a bit because you're always sending out information of different theater, plays, film and things like that. So you do that a lot.
Right.
I do want to ask you this question about theater and film, because I started theater.
Yeah.
And this is me personally. I always think that you should start in theater.
Right.
What is your feel about that? Because I think once you start in theater, because theater to me can be a lot tougher than film.
It is. Theater is much tougher than film, but once you can master theater, being on stage and taking those types of directions, once you get on set with film, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to go into character, at least for me, and work on character development in film. But theater is much harder, but that has always been my passion.
Yeah.
That has always been my passion.
I remember when I got booked for my first film.
Okay.
And then when I went I was on set and I'm ready to do my part, my speaking role, and I was like, and oh my goodness. And they were like, sir, bring it down. But I was so used to projecting.
Yeah.
I was so, being big and being animated. And so I had to learn how to bring it in.
And that's when you were doing film?
Yes.
Yeah, that happened to me as well.
Yeah.
They told me I didn't have to be grand.
Yeah.
And I don't have to be extra and move all my hands around and keep your neck straight and everything. Right. So, but yeah. I learned a lot, but it took me a while to transition from theater to film. And I think what helped me was I was studying and watching other people doing film, but I started doing reels. Okay. I started going out and, working with different companies doing reels, and the director on set would always coach me, telling me, keep that neck straight, keep them, keep them hands, still and stuff. So that helped me a lot.
Listen, we're gonna do some improving too, but I just want to tell our listeners, please make sure you guys leave a comment, and if you want some information about Cornelius and everything, please leave a comment and we'll make sure that we get the information to you. Make sure that you subscribe, click it, love it, share it, do all those things, okay? Please make sure you do that. Listen, I also know that you worked with Dorian Wilson. with from the
Yes.
Parkers.
Right.
In the play Rotten Apple.
Rotten Apple.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. I still keep in contact with Dorian.
Okay.
He's a fun person to work
Can you
with.
call him and say, I need you to come
I
on, talk
can.
with 3D?
I can.
But call and tell him, it's a great show and everything. So Dorian, you're going to get a call from Cornelius so you can come on Talking with 3D, okay? We got you.
Yeah, so Rotten Apple, that's a Barry Battle production.
Yeah.
And that was just a great film. So I was working with Dorian Wilson and what's the other gentleman name? Oh my God, from Soul Food.
And I know.
The choreographer.
Yes. Yeah. I can't think of her. Yes.
You know that game show when they be like choreographer.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, Darren Henson.
Yes.
Darren Henson, and I'm good with faces, but I'm so bad with names.
I know.
And what's her name? Run DMC's daughter, Vanessa.
We'll stick with Vanessa.
Vanessa.
Right.
There we go. So yeah, so that was all. They were all part of that production, and it was just great working with all of them.
Yeah. Another thing is, Cornelius, you're a world traveler.
Oh my goodness.
Anytime that we see you on social media, Instagram, you are traveling all over the world.
Wow. It's funny that you say that because today I was supposed to be in Jamaica. I was supposed to be in Jamaica today.
All over the world.
But yeah.
What's the passion for traveling?
I've always wanted to do it as a kid. And just for whatever reasons, my parents, they did the best that they could. But I said, once I got older, I'm gonna start going out.
Yeah.
And one of my brothers, he just travels everywhere.
Okay.
And I was influenced by him and, to start traveling. So many times I just, me and some of my friends, we just get together and we just say, you know what, let's plan a trip.
Yeah.
Let's plan a trip somewhere. So I try to travel at least at least 2 to 3 times a month. I'm trying to travel somewhere.
You don't travel 2 or 3 times a month. You travel every other week.
No, I wish, but 2 to 3 times a month.
So we talked about film. We've talked about theater and everything. What is your preparation for a role? So you get a role. How do you prepare for it?
Oh my goodness. How do I prepare for a role? Well, once I get the script, I usually read it back and forth. And so that's my preparation. I'll usually read it maybe back and forth 2 or 3 times. I'll get an understanding of the character, and then I'll start to slice the script down. Meaning that I will go by, if it's theater, I'll go by the act. What's the first act? And I'll try to learn my lines based off of that. But then I also record. My lines as well. And I'll put my headphones on and I'll start talking as if it's music.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that works for me. Everyone seems to have their method of what works best for them.
Right.
But that's my method.
That's your method.
Yeah.
What's your advice for up and coming actors?
Don't be afraid to fail.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to fail. Network. There's so many different platforms on social media that you can take advantage of. And, just get in the mix.
Yeah.
Get in the mix, whether you're in a community where you feel like there's nothing going on that speaks to what you want to do. Get on the internet and develop those relationships. And with the power of, the iPhone, you can actually create your own videos.
That's right.
You can create your own videos and blast them through different social media groups to start getting followers. Yeah.
There's a lot of our actors today, or people that are inspiring to be actors.
Yeah.
I always say they shoot themselves in the foot, or they put out in the atmosphere what they won't do. And it's always great to have, an idea of what kind of actor that you want to be.
Yeah.
But when you start saying, I'll never do this.
Yeah. Limit yourself.
You limit yourself.
Yeah.
And you put things out in the atmosphere. And so then when things come up, or you don't hear about roles because, well, you've already said you weren't going to do it. So why even offer you this role?
Yeah.
And it could be one of the greatest roles in the world. I always think of Tu Wong Fu.
Okay.
And I think of Wesley Snipes.
Okay.
And there were actors that said he was a fool for doing it. That was one of the biggest films, one of the biggest money-making films, and he got a lot of accolades for playing that simple role.
Wow.
You know, it wasn't a simple role. It was a big role for him. But for Wesley Snipes to play that, you know, and not be afraid.
Right.
Not be afraid of what others may think and what they
Absolutely.
would say. And I think that we have a lot of actors who are afraid
Being stereotyped.
or
Yeah.
what people may think of them.
Yeah.
And it's so funny that people they'll do, you know, get a role as a drug addict. I don't want people to think I
Yeah.
do drugs.
Yeah.
It's acting.
Yeah, it's acting, and that's where insecurities lie in. You know, you have certain individuals that might be insecure, maybe about themselves,
Yeah.
not feeling comfortable doing those type of roles, but they don't realize that they're missing out on great opportunities. And I think later on down the road, they may get it and have that flashback where they may wish that they would have taken on certain
Right.
opportunities.
I remember Will Smith saying that. Will Smith said it. I can't remember the name of the film, but Will Smith did say that at one time that he wished he would have. He did the film, but he limited himself of how he did the film.
Right,
You know.
right.
So we don't run out of time. What's the next journey in your acting? Where do you want to go with it?
In my acting, wow, so cinematography type work.
Okay.
So I'm intrigued behind the scenes now. So I started working on my own short films, creating my own production company, Y Core Productions.
Okay.
And so I've been working with Mignon Pinson through Low J Productions, and I took a film writing course. I wrote a short film, and I'm hoping sometime this year to go into production.
Okay.
And get that out. It's a horror film. But I'm just, just looking to learn, and just, network. I'm excited about what's to come February 16th for Accidental Encounters.
Yeah.
And yes.
Well, good. Call me up when you got a role for me. Let me know.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Would you
Listen.
do horror?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm not limiting myself.
I was going to
I'm
ask,
open.
is there anything you won't do?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I am open. I'm truly. I'm like that.
Okay.
Because I'm like I'm not going to exploit myself.
Yeah, right.
You know, if you
Yeah.
understand what I mean. But I'm not afraid to try something. If I see something in a role and maybe I can discuss it with the
Yeah.
director, the
Yeah.
writer, we can discuss it. But again, my job as an actor is to do the research.
That's right.
So if I don't do the research and see like, this is not for me, I shouldn't even go to the audition.
That's right. That's right.
You know, that's where it's my fault if I don't do my research
That's right.
to find out what kind of writer this person is,
do your research,
to see
yeah.
what kind of work that they do. And if I feel like this is not for me, don't even, why even put yourself in a situation?
That's right. I agree.
Yeah. So, I always like a good game here on Talking with 3D. So we're gonna do an improv act and sing.
Oh,
So this is the scenario.
okay.
We're two men that realize that they are brothers. They just found out that they are brothers. And they don't like each other because one of the brothers likes yellow Skittles.
Yellow
So-
Skittles.
Yeah, so you're the brother that likes yellow Skittles, and I don't like you because you like yellow Skittles. So we're gonna act that out.
Okay.
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 So two brothers found out they just found out that they're brothers, but they don't like each other because one of them likes yellow Skittles.
Okay.
All right, and go.
What do you mean you don't like these? These are my favorite.
Yeah, they're your favorite because Mama always liked them, and I don't like them.
You don't know what you're missing out. Come on now. These are the best. The yellow ones, please. You must like the white ones.
No, I don't like the white ones. I like the green ones.
The green-
And I've always liked the green ones. So you can take your yellow Skittles and you can go on about your business and everything, but I don't do yellow Skittles. Okay? So please, don't bother me again. I don't.
You must not be my brother
Why do you think that?
because all my other brothers love yellow Skittles.
That's why I've always felt like I've been the outcast. because I like green Skittles. I've always just wanted to eat the green Skittles, and y'all are over there in the corner passing out the yellow Skittles, and I wanted green. That's why I don't like you.
Okay. We don't like each other. That's okay. But you're going to learn to love me. And I'm going to feed you some yellow Skittles.
Great job. I'm going to feed you some yellow Skittles.
I'm going to feed you some yellow Skittles.
No, today you're going to eat yellow Skittles.
In your sleep.
Listen, Cornelius, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank
I really
you.
appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
And I enjoyed this conversation with you and everything. And hopefully that we actually get to work together face to face.
Absolutely. And thank you.
In the same scene.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
And much continued success. I see all the great things that you're doing, from fashion to film, theater. So keep on doing what you're doing, man.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, ladies and gentlemen, once again, if you want to be a part of Talking with 3D, all you have to do is just email me, talkingat3d@gmail.com. Go out, love someone intentionally, and we'll see you next time right here every Monday, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Peace.